Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? And so I just started consuming information and content from it. Now, when you think about it at first, and one of my mentors, Brendan Dawson, taught me this, is it's the three M's: mimic, model, master. And so where it began is I was just kind of mimicking what I thought it was that people were doing. And the mimicking came in this form, in this sense of I would consume content, I would read books, I would watch videos, I would go to conferences, I'd be at seminars, I would take an obscene amount of notes, and I would always ask myself, what can I apply to my life today in this that I can start doing? Because the action is really the thing that you have to do in order to see the other elements start to change and transpire in your life. And so I just start mimicking, trying the things every single day. As I got deeper into the journey, I started to model them in a way where it was I was doing not all of it, but a lot of the things that the successful people that I looked up to were doing. So when I got deep into working with people like Tom Bilyeu, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Dr. Caroline Lee, Judd Brewer, the list goes on and on and on, all these amazing people, starting, of course, with Brendan Burchard, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Eric Thomas, and these just killers. Anthony Trucks, he's speaking out on BrokenCon if you're coming. It was really about modeling and following through, because success leaves clues. You hear this all the time. There's something that if you're paying attention, you're going to be able to pick up. And so for me, modeling became, okay, this is exactly what these people are doing. So I'm going to do exactly what they are doing. Now, what's fascinating is about this is that some of the things that these people were doing just did not bear any weight on me, brought no value to my life in any capacity. So I stopped doing them. Some of the things that these people were doing made my life so incredibly better that even to this day, I do some of these things every day. Every single day I meditate and I journal, right? Every single day I move my body in some capacity unless I'm injured. And that could just be going for a walk. Every single day I write down my goals. Every single day I do certain things, but some things I don't do. Like I tried getting up at 4 a.m. It sucks. It's not for me. I'm never going to do that again. So I get up at 5 or 5:30. That hour makes a difference for me. I like going to bed at 10, right? That makes sense. I started taking out other things that really didn't benefit me, like certain diet elements, certain books that I was reading. And I started just focusing and I got narrow. Right. One of the things early on in the healing journey that we'll do will be very wide, right? And at first, like if you go look at some of the certifications I have, they're freaking all over the place. I got family systems and alcohol abuse recovery and this and that and this and that. And it was like what I needed to do was have that information so I could learn. But in time, I've narrowed the scope down more because I've discovered that if I'm stretched too thin, it's just too much to bring in. And so instead of going to 20 conferences a year and reading 100 books, I go to 4 conferences a year and I read 10 books, right? Getting very narrow. I listen to the same podcast. In fact, really, one of the things that I do, I listen to the same episodes because what I've discovered is if you just keep consuming, you're not learning. And so the modeling in it came from, all right, I'm going to just keep learning and focusing on this group of people. And even though I know there's more amazing information out there, it was like, I got to pull it back. I got to hone it in. And by honing it in, that led to mastery, right? One of the things that I've been able to become known for is being one of the leaders in trauma education and coaching because I got mastery in it through doing it, through putting in the hours, through investing the money, through working with the experts, through getting certifications through them, through also, and probably more important than all of that stuff, changing my own damn life. Right. I got mastery through showing up, through giving myself the permission to be successful. And so if you're in this place and you're like, okay, I don't really know where to start. Well, if you mimic, just go and look at what people are doing. It can be a lot of people, but if they're in the direction that you want to go, find out what they're doing. And then you model it at a deeper level, which means that you do have to get integrated into their system. A lot of times that's financially. So you get the behind the curtains look. I mean, that's a big reason why if you go and look at the coaching program that we offer through Think Unbroken at the Academy, the entry level course is a paid course because we want to make sure people are taking it seriously, right? We got 1,000 hours of podcast and 1,000 blog posts and I don't know, 5,000 social media posts, and that all has content. But the people who come in and they really step into the modeling and they follow the system, it's incredible how they see their lives change. And then mastery comes through you narrowing down even deeper exactly what it is that you want and who you want to work with, and repeat that ad nauseum. Most people will go and learn something from one person, and I've been guilty of this, so it's very different. Learn something from one person and then jump to person to person to person to person to person, and then suddenly they've been learning from 37 different people. Where in actuality, one of the most important things that you could do is get down to the core. Like if you can find a person, that's really ideal. But if you can get it to 3 people, now you're talking, because you don't have all these people in your ear all the time telling you something different. Because you guys know this, and especially if you've made it this far to this episode, I'm not for everybody. My coaching style is very different than most people. I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little bit more data driven. I'm a little bit more analytical. And so, is there an emotional capacity? Yes, of course, but I'm not emotion first, because for me, I've always looked at it very simply and gone, has somebody done the thing I want to do? Great. How do I learn it? I'm going to go and do it. And so while always there will be an emotional healing element, and we go through this deeply in not only the conferences we do, but in the programs and the books. But in coaching, I'm really like, let's get down to the thing that actually changes your life. And that's action.